Right, guys, what's up? How's it going tonight? Jamie from Boxing Life, as always. Sorry, I had some technical issues before we got started, so I think everyone's working. Boxing Society, man. Thanks for the comment. I'll get to it in a sec. I'll just kind of run the agenda first before I get to it, if that's okay. Yeah, obviously, big weekend of boxing ahead. We've got Dave Allen versus Makhmudov. Interesting fight. And yeah, it's a weird one. You know, Dave Allen's this weird British cult boxing hero now. And yeah, obviously, everyone's rooting for him to get the job done. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And yeah, should be a good one. Martin, man, evening to you as well, brother. Hope you're good. And yeah, I guess I'll just get right into it. And whoever joins, joins. And yeah, I'm going to start off with the Dave Allen versus Makhmudov fight. And then I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm going to do a little kind of mini kind of film study. Show you guys some clips of some issues I see with both guys, both Dave Allen and Makhmudov. And then I'll touch on obviously the Boots versus Lima card and give you my thoughts on that. And I'll also have a quick look at the undercards as well, get your thoughts on those. And I'll obviously answer your questions as well, guys. So keep it up in the chat and I will try to get through them at some point. And yeah, I guess we'll get into it. But in terms of this fight between Allen and Makhmudov, yeah, I'm kind of more in the boat that this could be quite a tough one for Dave Allen. I'm not going to lie. I think Makhmudov, as much as I think he is quite limited, I'm not too confident about it. I might be so wrong come fight night, but yeah, I've been looking back at some of Dave's fights over the last few days and just his record as well. And I just feel like when he makes that step up against not even like a top guy, but like a kind of like higher level contender, I guess, you know, a Fraser Clark, a Tony Yoka, David Price or whatever, like, and they are like the best guys in the world, you know, and he does fall short. And I kind of put Makhmudov in that category. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But before we get going, hopefully you guys can see that. Just look at both of the records as well. It's like, I think this last win for Dave Allen over Johnny Fisher, as much as it was a great win for him, like at the end of the day, it's Johnny Fisher, and I'm not trying to, you know, I like the guy, he's a really good character and stuff, really nice guy, but yeah, man, I was never convinced by Johnny Fisher, and the fact, you know, I think people are kind of freaking out about that win. Says a lot, doesn't it? Like I said, you know, he makes this, like, obviously, I think it was after I can't remember what fight it was. I think it was the Dave Price fight where he retired for a little bit. Yeah, Martin, man, like the Fraser Clark fight and the Dave Price fight, hard to watch. Yeah, I agree. Messy fights as well, from looking back just the last few days. Makhmudov, you know, the thing with him as well, he's an interesting one. He takes that step up against like the likes of Caballel or Vianello, he falls short. And he clearly struggles with movers, guys that are good with their feet, and that's not necessarily Dave Allen. So yeah, I kind of worry for him in that respect. But I wanted to share an interesting post that Matchroom posted on their Instagram, and it was just some heavyweight predictions from guys in the heavyweight division. Sorry, should I say? It's just quite interesting who they're picking for this fight. So Caballel, who obviously fought Makhmudov, said if Aslanbek well prepared, it's going to be very interesting because Allen showed strong form in his last fight. Sorry. All I can really predict is that it's going to be an exciting fight to watch. So interesting. He didn't really say, but Moses Atama just said Dave Allen. Joe Joyce, I think it's a good fight. If Dave Allen is on form, maybe Makhmudov has the size and reach advantage. They can both take and throw big punches. May the best man win. Yeah. Fraser Clark, obviously former Dave Allen opponent. This is a great fight. A couple of years ago, I'd have Makhmudov, but Dave is riding the crest of the wave at the minute. I think Dave wins late with a body shot, which is interesting. Obviously, a lot of people are saying, to target the body of Makhmudov, that's going to be the way to go. And Vianello, who obviously fought Makhmudov, which I think's interesting as well. He said it will be a good fight. I think Makhmudov is a strong boxer who doesn't like fast hands. It's a 50-50 fight. Yeah, I agree. I think guys with quick hands and also good footwork he struggles with. I'll kind of show you that in the film study stuff in a sec. And obviously, like Vianello, he managed to get the win against him, but it was tough at times for him, I don't know if you guys watched that fight. Obviously, Vianello managed to get him with a counter right hand, and Makhmudov's eye just started swelling up. Real bad. He couldn't look out of it. Joseph Parker, what did he say? He said, "Oh, it's a good, tough challenge and fight. Arslanbek, I can't say his first name, will be the fave to win, but I'm picking Dave Allen. Like him and great for the sport. He's looking in better shape. He's looking in better shape too. Let's go, Dave." Good words from Joseph Parker. He's fighting at the end of the month. TKV, what did he say? I believe Dave Allen gets the job done with the overhand right or a sickening body shot. I'm rooting for Dave. Now, interestingly, David Adelaide is the only one that's kind of picking Makhmudov. Tough task for both competitors, but I'm leaning towards Makhmudov, depending on what Dave Allen comes in. Regardless, fans are in for a treat. Interesting. Justice Uni, I think Dave Allen will slow him down, get the stoppage in the later rounds of the fight. Teramoa, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the Australian heavyweight. Dave Allen to wear him down to the body and finish with a KO in the late rounds. Interesting. Alexis Barriere, the Canadian heavyweight, he's actually fighting on the Boots undercard against Vianello, who we just looked at there. And he said it's a tough fight, but I think Allen is going to win by KO in the later rounds. Now, this is an interesting one because Alexis Barriere is based in Canada. So is Makhmudov. They're both based in Quebec, I believe. And you'd imagine these two guys would have sparred at some point. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I found that one interesting out of all of them, actually. And then Otto Wallen, it's hard to say, but maybe Allen by decision. So as you guys can see, like everyone is picking Dave Allen to win pretty much, apart from David Adelaide. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's Makhmudov. I just think as much as he is a bit robotic, he's very powerful. And I think as well, he's kind of slyly underrated in terms of how he sets you up at times. As much as he does kind of bulldoze forward in the beginning of fights. But yeah, speaking about that, we'll get on to the kind of film study stuff. Now, if I just get it up, you just give me 1 sec. So I want to like make a couple of points about this Dave Allen Fisher fight, and it's a moment. There's a couple of moments in this fight. Okay, And particularly, I think it's around, so yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to it. Yeah, it's just here. I'll slow down the footage as well for you guys, okay? Now, it doesn't really look like much for me, okay? Now, obviously, in this fight, he was pressing the action versus versus Johnny Fisher. And you can see, obviously, he's targeting the body there. And technically, he actually does quite a good job here with the body jab, as you can see. Lands on the target, and he's off the center line as well when he throws. Now, if I just play it after, he's straight up. And Johnny Fisher actually kind of frames a little bit as well if we watch it again. You see Johnny Fisher framing with the lead hand, puts him down. Now, what I've noticed Makhmudov does is he can sometimes wait for guys to jab to his body. And obviously, he's a very big target to go for. And, you know, these body jabs is what he looks out for. So when you commit with the body jab, he'll return with the right hand, but sometimes he'll frame like Johnny Fisher's doing, but he'll come up over the top with the right hand as you're bent down in a kind of vulnerable position here. And the other interesting thing about this, and I will show another example, in the Kabayel fight, Kabayel is actually very deceptively quick feet compared to someone like Dave Allen. Now, in this case, Dave Allen just kind of pulls out and continues kind of marching forward to close the distance again. And then I believe in round 2, it happens again towards the end. I think it's about here. He's trying to jab himself into distance, as you guys can see. Is it here? Yeah, right there. See him going to the body now? But look how open he is. And obviously what I'm going to show you guys in a sec is some Makhmudov footage and how he basically punishes guys doing this and comes back with the right hand as they target with the body jab. So those are concerns for me about Dave. If their game plan is to walk Makhmudov down and target him with body jabs like this to close the distance, and hey, maybe it's the right thing to do to try and set up the overhand right at some point later in the fight. But yeah, it concerns me. Another point I just want to make about Dave in this fight and what I think he should do. I believe it's here. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Sorry, I'll get onto the other thing at the other point in a sec. But when Dave in this fight against Johnny Fisher, what he was doing, he was rolling the shoulder. Now, it was pretty good. But once again, I'll show you guys, Makhmudov looks for you to turn like that. And then you'll come on over the top with the right hand. Interestingly, and obviously, I believe he trains with him now and again, is Beterbiev. Beterbiev does the exact same thing. And these Russian fighters, Soviet fighters, the more aggressive ones like them, one of the techniques that they try and do is kind of hit the back of the head or behind the ear very slyly. Beterbiev is amazing at it. And that's something Makhmudov does as well. So keep an eye out for that. That's just another issue. And round 2-0-4-2. Just get to this other point I want to make about Dave. It's round 2. I'm trying to just get to the point I saw. Yeah, that's the other thing. I think if Dave does try to close the distance on Makhmudov, I think he needs to kind of smother his work. Not let him, basically stopping him from getting off his right hand, basically, because Makhmudov is very dangerous at that right hand, and even the left hook, guys, it's honestly deadly at times. You see Dave just kind of smothering Fisher, using his head. It's actually really intelligent work from Dave, just kind of spoiling Johnny's work in that moment, and I feel like that's what he's going to have to do against Makhmudov, if I'm being frank. And then I just kind of want to get over, obviously, this is what I think Dave did really well in this fight, towards the end anyway. Those kind of body jabs and targeting the body against Johnny Fisher, even the chest. And that's what he would do. He kind of, it looks like he's fainting, going downstairs to the body. But in actual fact, he's coming up over the top with the right hand. And people are saying, obviously, that's the money punch. Obviously, I was just talking about what other guys are predicting. And he manages to crack him over the top. Now, Makhmudov does leave himself very open to that punch. But obviously, I'll get to the combination, I think, to unlock Makhmudov to set up that right hand for Dave Allen in a sec. But as you guys saw there, you know, if he can set up that overhand right, maybe make Makhmudov think the body shot is coming, he might be able to land something significant to take him out potentially. As you can see, we'll just watch again. Just a wee feint, and then over the top, right hand. And if he does hurt him, obviously we saw in this fight, he put together his combinations when he was hurt. And who do we see put his combinations together against Makhmudov? Kabayel, guys. Kabayel. And obviously I'll show you that footage in a sec just to remind you. But Kabayel put his punches together when he actually hurt Makhmudov and got the finish. But like I said, there's risks. There's definitely risks to Dave targeting the body, especially if he's very slow with the body jab, as I just showed you guys. And I'll just show you once more, just to kind of, before I got into the Makhmudov footage. I believe it's just here. Yeah. Just this body jab. It's not the quickest, and he doesn't get out of distance quick enough. But I'll get on to the Makhmudov footage I wanted to show you. You just give me one sec. And yeah, guys, leave your thoughts in the comments, questions, and I will get to them after this section, okay? And happy to answer them. I believe it's this one, yeah. So this was a fight a couple of years ago, but just I've noticed this in other fights as well. Slow down the footage. And this was against a Serbian, I believe he's a Serbian heavyweight. Now, one of the weaknesses, I think it's in round one, and Kabayel managed to get him with this combination as well at times. Is this left hook. See in a sec. He gets caught with his left hook quite a bit, Makhmudov. Does he get him again? I'm trying to remember. No, he doesn't. But I'll show you the Kabayel footage after this. Just trying to get to the knockdown now. Yeah, here it is. So this is the first knockdown in this fight. You can't really see from this angle. All right. When does it happen? So body jab, as you can see here, okay? Just as I was discussing about Dave, throwing the body jabs coming into range. And as you can see, it's very similar to what Johnny Fisher did. He frames with the lead hand, as you can see, but it gives him the opportunity to come in over the top with that right hand on this guy. Bang. And he sets him up with a left hook, but it was the right hand that did the job in the first place. We watch it back again. Body jab. And then obviously he frames with that lead hand, as you can see, and then comes in over the top. And like I was saying about these Russian fighters, they target behind the ear, they target behind the back. That's what Biterbiev does as well. Obviously, Makhmudov does train with Biterbiev now and again, I believe, in Montreal. And Mark Ramsey as well is the same trainer. Man, he almost fell out the ropes there. It's almost a great finish. And the same thing happens again for the next knockdown in this. Sorry, just get to it. I believe it's just coming up here. Oh, See the body jab as he bends down, this guy? And Makhmudov here, framing with that lead hand. And then what's he going to throw? The right hand over the top and land that same punch. And that's where I worry about Dave Allen in this fight. I think that could be the punch that gets him in trouble, if I'm being honest. So I do worry if he starts trying to body jab Makhmudov. And the issue is he doesn't necessarily have the footwork to get it arranged quickly. Now, I'll show you the Caballel fight now. You just give me 1 sec. And you guys make sure to leave your questions in the chat, and I will get to it after this little segment I'm just doing. And I will just get this Caballel footage up. So here, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. So this is just the first round, the highlights. But the thing about Makhmudov as well, he comes out very fast. And it's not going to be like Dave Allen. He's not going to, I mean, like Johnny Fisher. He's not going to be boxing on the outside. Makhmudov's going to come forward, as you can see, even against Caballel. And you can see, even with Caballel's footwork, he's very quick to get out of range, as you just see here. Just takes that step back, and he's continually turning. Dave's footwork's not like that. He needs to come forward, and that's where I think this could be quite a messy fight. I might be wrong. Maybe they'll change the tactics for this fight. Jamie Moore and his coach will change it, but I just can't see it, because Makhmudov's going to come forward like this and try and make this a barn fight, isn't he? But Caballel's footwork is very underrated, and he's able to use lateral movement, pivots. He's able to get out of range really quickly. And you can see here, Caballel does the body jab, but the difference between him and Dave Allen is he's able to quickly get out of range. So body jab out. Dave Allen just stays there. And that gives Makhmudov the opportunity to come in with the right hand. That was actually a good counter from Caballel there. And to be fair, you can see there, you know, when Makhmudov is standing and trading, but if you're throwing in combinations, you usually get the better of him. But Dave isn't really that type of fighter. Obviously, we did see him get the finish that way, but wasn't necessarily what he was doing the whole time he was fighting. And that was the punch I just wanted to highlight about Caballel and Makhmudov. He always gets caught out with his left hook right hand. You see there? And he does have moments, Makhmudov, where, yeah, he has inactivity. And whether he's just gassed from going full out in the first couple of rounds, maybe that's why he gets caught out so much. But these body shots, is Dave capable of doing it? But as you can see here already, like with Caballel, he's always turning, he's always moving. And up there, once again, with the lead left hook in the right hand. Excuse me. Always catches him out. Always catches him out. And those were just kind of the key point. You know, I didn't want to just slate, obviously, Dave about this. There's obviously issues with Makhmudov as well. As you can see, he is a bit rigid. But I'll just show you his last fight, which I believe was in June, I believe. It was just after Dave's fight with Johnny Fisher, actually. So he's fought pretty recently. But this was the first round. Sorry. I believe this is the finish. And he's just he just non-stop pressure. He just comes forward, throwing absolute bombs. And that's how he's going to approach his fight, Makhmudov. You even look back at early in his career, he likes coming out fast. He likes sticking it on you and testing you and seeing what you've got. Watch it again. He actually tries to get him with the uppercut, but then he comes back over the top with the right hand. And to be honest with you, I don't feel confident about Dave in these positions. I don't know about you guys. You guys let me know if you think he can handle Makhmudov in those positions. I don't think he can. I really don't. And maybe I'm going to be eating my words come Sunday morning or Saturday night. But yeah, I'm just not confident in Dave doing it. I just really am not. But yeah, guys, if you guys got any questions, leave it in the chat. I'll get to it. And if you are watching it, you can watch it live in the zone. You can use my link. I'll leave that in the chat. It's also in the description. Or you can scan the QR code on the screen as well. But I'll try to get some of these questions out of the way now, and then I'll get onto the undercard. So, Boxing Society, what are your thoughts on Ryan Garcia claiming Triple G isn't the first ballot Hall of Fame? Or he shouldn't be in the first ballot Hall of Fame. I was really upset by that comment. Yeah, I think it was weird from Ryan. Not going to lie, but that's Ryan for you. I can understand some aspect of it, that he never fought or beat like consistent top stars, but let's be honest, a lot of the guys weren't wanting to fight him. That's just, if you were watching boxing at that time, we all know everyone was avoiding Triple G. And what did he get? He got a 20 knockout, 20 fights in a row he got a knockout. Which is just ridiculous when you actually think about it. And a lot of those were like championship fights as well. So I think the streak ended when he fought Danny Jacobs before the Canelo fight. But yeah, no, I thought it was weird. I think 100% Triple G deserves to be first ballot, and it's just a shame. Maybe he should. The thing about Triple G, in my opinion, he should have got that first win over Canelo, and that would have cemented his place for sure. Among boxing greats. But unfortunately, people now all question it. Still to this day, I see people that, oh, did he actually beat Canelo in the first fight? Well, yes, he did. I've watched that fight so many times. I even had Triple G winning the second fight, even though that was a lot closer. There's a lot of swing rounds. I still had Triple G. I believe I had him winning that fight by 2 rounds. But yeah, I thought it was weird, considering Ryan's had a kind of pretty mixed career, if we're being honest. He's never won a world title, but it's just Ryan giving his opinion at the end of the day. So yeah, leave your questions in the chat, guys, and I will get to it. And then I'll look at the undercard. Boxing Society, will likely be a slugfest, which I can't say I'm excited to witness, given I don't think it will go in Dave Allen's favor at all. Good to know that you're on my side, man. I feel like, obviously, I just showed you all those other heavyweights are all predicting Dave Allen to win, which I find really bizarre. Obviously, David Adelaide's the only one that kind of said Makhmudov will win it. Pretty much everyone's saying Dave Allen. I just can't. Obviously, a lot of them are British heavyweights, so they're going to support their guy, but I don't know. I just find it a bit strange. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, he does, man. I'll admit, Makhmudov hates the punches to the gut, Martin. Yeah, I agree, man. We saw that in the Kabayel fight. And I think the issue is, though, Kabayel, like I mentioned, he's got quicker hands than Dave Allen. He's got better footwork to get in and out of range. He's a better combination puncher. He's a proven combination puncher, whereas Dave never has really been. Obviously, he did get the finish against Johnny Fisher, but it was a big right hand that did the damage just before. So if he can target the body up close and throw in combination, sure, maybe he might be able to do it. But Makhmudov, I think he's going to be surprised by how strong he is. So it'll be interesting to see. Pickle Stick, hello. If you're still here, how's it going, man? And you guys feel free to leave your questions in the chat, and I will get to it. Boxing Society, Alan is very easy to hit, and at this stage in his career, it's hard to believe he's made any worthwhile adjustments. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think he's still quite predictable. I think in this fight, I think just being defensively responsible, not trying to overcomplicate it, using the high guard as he's closing the range, looking to parry shots with it as he's coming in, and then try get those sneaky little body shots in when he's up close. But the issue is, this is what I've said, watching Makhmudov, he's the one that comes forward, and that's the issue with Dave in this fight. He's going to have to stand his ground and try push Makhmudov back. Makhmudov can't fight going backwards, really. Not anymore, anyway. You go back, watch some of his amateur fights. He's still very aggressive, but he could box a bit better than he is now. Martin Cabell's terrific and on a different level to Dave Allen. Yeah, I think people are, this is the thing, people are hyping up this fight with Johnny Fisher a bit too much, in my opinion. I think it was a great win, I agree, but Johnny Fisher and Cabell are different levels. And oh, so it was 8 years straight knockouts for Triple G. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, by a round in the 115, 113. I believe I have because I was like scoring it and writing notes on the fight. I still have it on my phone somewhere. What are your thoughts on the state of the heavyweight division? I feel there's a big drop-off in talent outside the top 5, and they're all getting near retirement age. Yeah, I think it's definitely a transition. Boxing Society. Obviously, Atama is the standout talent. I don't know if you guys saw Jarolov fight the other night. I saw some of the highlights for that. He did not look good, and he was quite. People were saying he could be the one to maybe really challenge at the top of the division, but yeah, it doesn't really look like it for him either. Yeah, it's when Usyk goes, it's like who's really left? Fabio Wardley, Joseph Parker. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the heavyweight division. It's I don't necessarily think it's that bad in that bad a place. I think it will still create some big fights. But yeah, there's not, no huge star power or like, we had Wilder, AJ, Fury, and obviously Usyk in the end. Now, obviously Wilder's dropped off now, forget about him. But like even in our era, I felt, or that era, sorry, I mean, there was always the possibility of these big fights. Obviously Tyson versus Wilder happened. Joshua versus Usyk versus Fury. The only ones obviously we need to, the one kind of one we need to see is Fury versus AJ or AJ versus Wilder. But who wants to really see that at this point? Martin, can Dave parry shots in close? Some catch and shoot potentially, but I think you go watch the Dave Price fight. He just smothers his work. Even against Fraser Clark, he was just didn't really offer anything up close, really, in my opinion. And then the thing is with Dave Allen, and as much as Fraser Clark in that fight when he fought Fraser Clark was giving him low blows, and even the Johnny Fisher fight, there's a moment where Johnny gets him with a little bit of a low blow, and Dave Allen kind of freezes up and looks at the ref every single time. And he might not be able to do that against someone like Makhmudov, who's just going to keep throwing punches. Yep, Jarolov, I think he got... Watched Jarlov, thinking that you got beat. It was shocking. Yeah, he was pretty bad. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on this fight. Anyway, hope that kind of little film study at the start was cool. Might do that going forward. And yeah, I'll kind of look at the undercard as well. So we've got Josh Padley versus Reese Bellotti. Obviously Bellotti, I saw that his last fight where he lost in the 12th round. It's pretty gutting, but I think obviously the favorite will be Josh Padley going into this. But he's not really a big puncher, Padley. That's the other thing. As much as he is actually technically pretty decent, Bellotti's actually a pretty decent puncher. So you never know. It could be an upset in this one. But I think for that, you got to favor Padley. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And then the one I'm most looking forward to is Junaid Bostan versus Fawaz. I don't know about you guys. That Fawaz guy is very eccentric. He kind of reminds me of Chris Eubanks Sr., the way he talks. He's a very strange guy. I didn't realize as well, he's got this like baby face and he's like 37 years old. I did not. I was like, what? Couldn't believe it when I saw it. For some reason, I thought he was like a lot younger, but he's actually quite old. But I really rate, this is one guy I really rate, is Junaid Bostan. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's got good skills, sharp, he's got power. Obviously, he's still learning, still a bit raw, but I really rate him. I think he's great. And hopefully, I think, Matchroom just need to keep developing him. And, he should be getting through this fight, but I think he clearly underestimated Fawaz in that first fight. Obviously ended up in a draw. But yeah, I think should be a good one. I'm looking forward to that. I think that could be a bit fiery, but if I had to favor someone, probably Bostan, actually. I think if he makes the adjustments, he should win. Martin Boston got lucky last time. Well, yeah, I think it was a close fight. I thought a draw was probably fair, to be honest. But yeah, maybe he got lucky. And yeah, guys, leave your comments in the chat. And I'll just leave you this a little quick ad, and I'll be right back in 1 sec, okay? I want to tell you about the Boxing Life Patreon. On there, I have an ever-growing library of fight film studies, which goes into extensive details of tactics and styles. Not only that, you get early access to upcoming videos and extra content, including my betting previews with my own personal predictions and picks. Well, you can also ask me questions on my monthly Q&A. If you want to go a step further, the champ level tier gives you the request for me to create your own film study or cover a boxing topic. Whether it's your favorite fighter or an upcoming fight, I'll cover it. This is a great way to support the channel and for me to dive deeper into the sweet science without the worry of content getting blocked or demonetized on YouTube. If you want to try it out, there is a 7-day free trial. I'll leave it in the description below. I want to tell you about the Boxing Life Patreon. On there, I have an ever-growing library of fight film studies, which goes into extensive... Oh, sorry about that, guys. It kind of went on a loop there for some reason. My bad. So, on to the next section. What have we got? We got Boots versus Lima. And yeah, I think obviously everyone's pretty disappointed about the opponent. I think actually, I've been watching a lot of Lima. I did some videos for the Ring magazine. I'll show you guys. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this one. And there was another video I did on Boots on the Ring magazine channel. Go check that out after this if you want. And I kind of gave more of my thoughts about that, just about Lima and his background, and I just watched a bit of him, and I don't think he's necessarily a bad fighter. I just think he's kind of tailor-made though for Ennis in this fight, if I'm being honest. Lima, he's a southpaw, a bit of a, how would I describe him as a style? I guess a swarmer kind of puncher. Looks to set you up with the backhand, goes to head to body. But from the fights I've looked at, he's very durable. And if he catches you clean, you know, he's got power. So I think that fight, it's a dangerous one for Ennis in some respect, if he takes this lightly. If he doesn't take this fight seriously, you know, he could be in for not a tough night, but I think Lima could give him some problems. But personally, I just can't. As much as I think Lima isn't as bad as people are making out, I still think he's tailor-made for Ennis' style. I think Ennis is such a good counterpuncher. I think he'll be able to make Lima overextend with the left hand. And obviously Ennis can box from southpaw or orthodox. So yeah, it's like, I think he's gonna obviously check him out the first couple of rounds and then try set him up with something big. I think Lima's gonna come forward, be aggressive, because that's kind of his style. He doesn't opt to box. He looks to close the range, get on the inside and fight you there. And you know, even looking at, you know, the records, the last 6 fights. I don't know if you guys have watched the Aaron McKenna fight. I recommend going back. If you've got time, watch that. Lima actually did a pretty good job. Closed the range on him, set up the backhand. And McKenna's actually a pretty decent fighter. Oh, Henry, man. Good to see that you're on, man. Yeah, I think stylistically plays right into Boots' hands. I think it's obviously, I'm interested to see how Boots will approach it. I would like to see him box from range, set him up, because watching Lima, he kind of rushes in, tries to throw the backhand from distance, the southpaw backhand, and can leave himself very open. And I can see Ennis catching off those counter hooks, those check hooks pretty easily. So yeah. But yeah, like, obviously, the only kind of guy, in my opinion, that's kind of gave Ennis problems recently was Chukazan. And Chukazan, obviously, they fought twice, obviously. And Chukazan is actually very good, in my opinion. I think he's a great fighter. I think very underrated, likes to box. He actually set up Ennis quite a few times with some decent, you know, counters himself. And that's what they always say, counter the counter puncher. But like I said, it's not Lima's style. I just can't see Lima trying to box Ennis from distance. He's going to try and put it on him. Just from watching his previous fights. But maybe Lima will have just a solid chin. He looks like he's got a pretty solid chin. Watching the Koopman fight, watch that, Batty, and the Metavizian, whatever, you can't even pronounce his name, and obviously the McKenna fight. I watched all 4 of those, and he looks like he's got a decent chin as well. So maybe, you know, obviously Ennis moving up in weight, facing a stronger guy who's used to the weight, yeah, maybe he'll struggle. You never know. But I've got to favour Ennis. I think he should be getting the knockout. I think there's levels, and he is on another level, if I'm being frank. You guys, if you just joined, make sure to leave some questions in the chat and I'll get to it. Anything about this fight, leave it in the chat. And I guess I'll just touch on the undercard as well. And we've got Alexis Barriere and Guido Vianello, a heavyweight clash. And I actually did a film study on my Patreon. Someone requested me to do the film study on the champ level tier. And Alexis Barriere is a very good fighter, I have to admit. There's not that much footage of him. I talked about him earlier in the stream, based in Quebec, in Canada. And yeah, he's a southpaw, very deceptively quick hands, quick feet. And this is his first step-up fight against a kind of mid-range contender in Vianello. And obviously Vianello beat Makhmudov, so it's quite interesting, kind of comparing these guys. But, Barriere, he looks very good, guys, I have to admit. Just from the couple of fights I watched, he looks pretty decent. And even just looking at the odds, Barriere is the favorite. And I watched Guido Vianello's last fight against Richard Torres. And what's one thing I noticed about Vianello, he throws these wide looping uppercuts from distance, kind of like Buster Douglas versus Vander Holyfield. And man, Richard Torres was getting him with the southpaw right hook constantly. And I kind of worry for Vianello in this fight, I'm not going to lie. But saying that, Vianello is a good counterpuncher himself. Obviously, you saw what he did to Makhmudov. So I think that'll be actually a very good fight, guys. I recommend you make sure to watch that one. I think it could be good. And then we've got Giorgio Vizioli. I can't even say his name. Vizioli? I think that's how you pronounce his name. Being touted as the next UK star. I think he's really good. There's another southpaw. Quick hands, powerful. There's obviously the sparring rumors about Kermel Morton, that he was absolutely tearing him up. So I'm really intrigued to see how he gets on. I think this is a bit of a step up. It's obviously super featherweight, but he's a very exciting fighter, I have to admit. And then there's Tamir Smalls as well against Roman Vasquez. Roman Vasquez, I believe he got an upset win in Puerto Rico on one of the Hitchens fights recently. But Tamir Smalls, he looks pretty decent, good power, and good up-and-coming welterweight. And I think he should win that. But Vasquez, from what I saw in that last fight, he clinched a lot in that fight. But yeah, not the strongest undercard, I have to admit. Apart from that, the Barriere versus Vianello fight, I think will be actually really good. I think it'll be interesting. So I recommend you guys check out that fight. And sorry, I'll get to some of these questions. Henry Man, sorry, just getting to this now. Yeah, Ennis at 154 is interesting because he definitely goes to get it. He definitely does get hit, sorry. But maybe the extra energy will get him moving a bit more. Yeah, potentially. I'd like to see, I think his team have been going on about how he's been depleted at welterweight. They don't feel like he's been performing. So, yeah, like I said, I really want him to put on a good, strong performance, send a message to the division that, he's coming to get them all. Because this division is like crazy, like so crazy how good it is, how many top guys there is. Boxing Society, thanks again for the question. As an American, if Torres is our greatest hope, we won't have a world champion for a long time. Wonder if Gerard Anderson will ever come back. How do you rate Michael Hunter's career in management? Yeah, it's weird. At one point, Michael Hunter looked like pretty good. I think he was fighting on the undercards, Anthony Joshua and stuff. And then obviously he signed with Don King, and then he just went out and did all these random fights in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Because I think he's actually a very skilled, good fighter. Good movement, good jab. Made it a difficult fight for anyone, really. But yeah, it's just a shame that he kind of went down that route. Whether it was his own doing, or it was Don King that kind of held him ransom or something, I don't know. But and then obviously he was meant to. Who was he meant to fight, guys? Remind me in the chat. Was it Andy Ruiz? And then Don King blocked it. Maybe it wasn't Andy Ruiz. It was someone else. Sorry, the names escaped me. He was meant to fight someone, and then Don King blocked him from fighting over like contractual issues or something. I need to find that out now. Who did he block? Oh, it was Jarrell Miller. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Sorry, Bucks. Yeah, you beat me to it. Yeah. It's a shame. And then I guess, like, sorry, going back to your question around Mike Gerard Anderson, it's like, yeah, what happened to him? I don't know. Has he actually? Let's have a quick look. I don't believe he's come back since the Bacoli fight, has he? Let's have a look. Oh, he's had one fight. He fought in February this year against a guy called Marios Kolias. I've never heard of him in my life. Yeah. Oh man. Awful fight. 10 rounders. 10 round as well. Fuck. Man. Speaking about that, Boxing Society, let's have a look at the heavyweight division. I want to get up. I'll get up box rec. And I'll share the screen and we'll look at the heavyweight division, see where we're at. If you just give me 1 sec. And you guys, if you're here, leave your questions in the chat and I will get to it. And I'll stay for maybe like another 10, 20 minutes. We get enough questions. Happy to engage with you guys. And I'll backtrack again and I'll talk a little bit about the fights this weekend against Allen and Makhmudov and stuff. Okay. Let me just check. Okay. Just need to try and... It's weird. Whenever I'm streaming and I open up BoxRec, I feel like my computer is about to blow up. I don't know if it's all the ads BoxRec shows. Man. If I get it up. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll try to get my head out of the way. Yeah, so heavyweight division at the moment, obviously Usyk, number 1. Who have we got? Obviously Caballel, Dubois, Parker, Lawrence Okoli is ranked 5th on BoxRec. I don't know what that says. Why is Moses Tama not further up? Fabio Wardley 6. Murat Gaziev, I forgot he was still fighting. Filip Hrgovic, you know, he could be in for a good shot, you know, for a title one day. Martin Bacoli, they're all kind of like around, at the moment, a lot of these guys, like obviously Caballel, Parker, Filip Hrgovic are all 33 years old. And then we got guys like Michael Hunter, 37, Fury's 37 now. How old's Joshua again? I can't even find Joshua in the rankings. I'm trying to find him. Am I being blind right now? I honestly can't see Anthony Joshua. Bizarre. Yeah, I cannot see Joshua for the life of me. Derek Chisora. Richard Torres. 26. I just want to see other heavyweights from the USA. Man, like, it's a shame. You look at the top 5 heavyweights in like BoxRec, for example. It's Michael Hunter, Richard Torres, Gerard Anderson, Jermaine Franklin, Deontay Wilder. Man. I posted on my Instagram not that long ago It was like I believe it was the top 10 heavyweights in 1995. And I swear to God that I think there was only one. I think it was Lennox Lewis was the only guy, and Frank Bruno maybe were in the top 10, and everyone else was American. And then you look at it today, and it's just like such a fall from grace, isn't it, for American boxing, or American heavyweight boxing, should I say? There was a young guy. Who did he fight? Oh, what's his name? Did he fight Guido Vianello potentially? Let's just have a look. Is it this guy? No, it's not Jonathan Bryce. I can't remember. There's another guy I saw. He's American, and he actually looks pretty decent. He was fighting on some of the top rank cards. I believe he lost in one of the top rank cards, and then he kind of got thrown out to one of these smaller promotions in America. So it was interesting. I like Wardley, but technically he's not polished, very reliant on his power. Huni was outboxing him on short notice. I imagine it will be an easy night for Parker. Yeah, potentially. I think I'll have a breakdown on him hopefully next week at some point on the channel, kind of just dissecting more of his skill set. And he isn't as one-dimensional as people make out. I think he's actually a lot more skillful than someone like a Wilder, for example. I think he's clearly worked in the gym very hard to develop some decent skills, and he doesn't get the credit for that. Which I'll obviously discuss in my breakdown next week if you guys watch it. So, and yeah, I think maybe, obviously watching that Huni fight again recently, Huni did a good job with his guard. He stayed pretty rigid, disciplined, and he had good footwork in terms of getting out of range quickly, and also staying at a range where Fabio couldn't really get the full extension of his punch. And it's interesting. Obviously, he managed to get that knockout with that right hand, and that's something Fabio Wardley, if you actually go back and watch his other fights, he tries to set up that punch all the time. And what he usually tries to do is he'll feint to the body, or he'll throw the jab to the body, and he forces you to try and commit, and then he'll slip off the center line and throw that big right hand and catch you. And that's how he gets you. And that's the thing about Parker, where I kind of worry. I'm like, could he fuck up, basically misjudge the body jab coming in and overcommit? Yeah. But if I had to pick at the moment, I'd still probably pick Parker, just going off how well Huni did. And I think Parker's a better fighter than Huni. So obviously a lot more experienced, and he's got a good trainer in Andy Lee in the corner. But I'm sure Fabio Ben Davidson will have a good game plan going into that, no doubt. Sorry, man. Big Rye, sorry, man. Just getting to this now. Hey, bud, love your videos and watch for a while, but did you ever train in Ballantyre ABC at one point? No, I didn't, man. I was... I started, first ever gym I went to was Loch End in Edinburgh, and then I went to Kinnick in Glasgow. Big Rye, I'm a bit late. Have you discussed the Alan Mar- Yeah, sorry, man. Sorry, if you go back, you'll be able to watch it all. But I'll give you some thoughts in a sec because we will be. I'll maybe finish up the stream soon. And yeah, that was the other thing, guys. I wanted to talk about some other upcoming fights. I just had a glance at my notes there and just noticed I totally forgot to mention the other fights that have been announced recently. But I will get back to the Alan Makhmudov fight in a sec if you don't want to go back. Boxing Society, sorry, I'll just answer this last question. It's honestly shocking that the fighters still chose to sign with Top Rank and Don King after what they did to Ali. If I were a fighter, I would look to sign with Matchroom or Queensberry. Yeah, like I think it's an interesting one. Like I think I actually understand why guys sign with like the likes of PBC and stuff because they look after their fighters, don't they? As much as they don't put on the best fights necessarily at times. Screw over the fans with the amount of pay-per-views they do, but you know they look after their fighters, that's for sure. Whereas you maybe Top Rank Don King throw you to the wolves sometimes if they spot a chink in the armor. Obviously Terence Crawford went on about Top Rank and how they treated him, not getting the big fights. I believe, didn't they say that he was they were being racist or something? Can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I think it's funny. Like at one point, the other thing I just want to touch on this: the promoters. It's funny how like it's kind of reversed. I feel like Queensberry have now taken over from Matchroom as like the top promotion from the UK. I feel they've obviously signed up all the heavyweights pretty much. Lots of like light heavyweights as well. Yeah, and for years it just seemed like Queensberry were in the shadow of Matchroom. So it's funny how things change. And yeah, the other fight that got announced, sorry, I'll get onto the fight, was Lamont Roach versus Isaac Cruz, or Cruz versus Roach, whatever way you want to put it. I think that's a really good fight. I'm really, really intrigued by that fight. I think obviously Roach is a really good counterpuncher. Isaac Cruz struggles with counterpunchers and boxers at times. And I feel like Isaac Cruz needs to add something else to his style. It's just come forward. It's obviously action packed, but man, it's just like he needs to throw the jab a bit more or something, close the range. It's just like he just marches forward too much, gets caught with big counter punches, and it's like no wonder he lost some of these fights. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that fight. I think it'll be a good one, I have to admit. Big Rat, had to ask, your voice has always been familiar. Now I see your face. I'm sure I've seen you in the gym. Must have been Kinnick many years ago. Yeah, man, maybe I saw you at the gym, potentially. I haven't been to Kinnick in years, though. Honestly, it's shocking that Don King's still alive, let alone still involved in the sport. Yeah, man. He's a lizard. Him and Bob Arum, man, they're still, I can't believe like how they're still both going. Yeah, Bostan. Yeah, I said the exact same thing. I'm really looking forward to that fight. I think Bostan really liked the look of him. I think obviously underestimated that guy Boaz a little bit in the first fight. But we'll see how he gets on. I think he needs to make the adjustments. Yeah, guys, I'll stay for like another 10 more minutes. So if you've got any more last questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And I'll just kind of talk about, maybe I'll go reverse back to Dave Allen versus Makhmudov and Boots versus Lima, and then I'll answer some last questions if that suits you guys. So yeah, go back to the Dave Allen versus Makhmudov fight. Yeah, I'll kind of, like I said, if you guys came later, you can go back and watch. I did a little bit of a film study at the start of this video, kind of covering that. And basically, I just think Makhmudov's going to be too powerful for Dave Allen. I think I see too many openings for Makhmudov to get Allen coming in. Now, Dave Allen will obviously be targeting the body of Makhmudov with the body jab, I imagine, trying to close the range on him. And obviously Makhmudov, we saw in the Kabayel fight that he's weak to the body. So it's interesting. But as I showed in the film study earlier, how Makhmudov sometimes actually waits for you to throw out the body jab. And then you'll frame with the lead hand, and then you'll come down with the right hand over the top. And what a lot of these Russian fighters do, they aim for the back of the head very subtly, the back of the ear. Beterbiev does it. And obviously he trains in Canada with Makhmudov sometimes. I imagine they've been kind of taught that same technique. And Makhmudov does it a lot. And if he catches you, the back of the ear scrambles your brain, and you're basically screwed. As we've seen many guys suffer from it. But yeah, I hope Dave does it, you know, and I feel like I've been maybe criticizing him a bit too much tonight, but if he managed to pull this off, you know, I got to applaud him, you know. I think it would be a great win. I just can't see it personally at the moment. And it's crazy the amount of guys that are feeling that Dave's going to win this pretty comfortable. But like I said, I might eat my words come Saturday night. Maybe Dave pulls it off, gets the incredible win. I'll be rooting for him for sure, but I just think Makhmudov wins. Probably by KO. I think it's going to be a very fiery first 4 rounds. If Dave can get through that, I think anything's possible. As I showed you guys earlier, Makhmudov comes out the block very quick, and Dave Allen doesn't have the footwork to keep him turning, keeping out of distance. You know, Dave Allen needs to come forward, and it could come down to who lands the big one first. But I think overall Makhmudov is maybe a little bit, is as much as I don't rate him as some of the other top guys in the heavyweight division or top like contenders, I still think he's underrated in some areas. He does have some boxing IQ that maybe it's a little bit subtle in some areas, as much as he does kind of plow forward. But yeah, it should be a good one. Hoping for a good fight. And then obviously we've got Boots versus Lima. Once again, I think Lima's a lot tougher than people think, but if Boots really wants to make a statement, I think he needs to win by a knockout or really convincingly. I think this is he should be winning by knockout. I think Lima, he's obviously, like I said, rushes in with the southpaw backhand sometimes, and he's open for the counters. And Ennis is a superb counterpuncher when he chooses to be. Sometimes Ennis, for whatever reason, loves fighting in the pocket far too often. Man. And that's when it kind of screws up his game plan. I think he just needs to fight from distance, try set him up. And I'm sure he will, but we'll see. And Yamazaki, man, hope you're good. If Allen fights the same fight as he fought against Fisher, he will get knocked out. I hope Allen has a good game plan. I like him. Yeah, man, I really like him as well, dude. Like I said, I just can't see this approach of marching forward is going to work. I don't know if you were here earlier in the stream. I did a little bit of a film study, kind of showing the difference between kind of like Dave Allen and Caballel. Caballel has brilliant footwork. And I don't know, for whatever reason, people are treating Dave Allen like he's Caballel, like he'll pull something like him off. When Caballel is really underrated, very good footwork, great combination puncher, powerful. That's not Dave Allen. That's not Dave Allen, should I say, sorry. Don King will probably outlive us all, yeah. Probably, man. I don't even know how old he is. He must be 95. I believe Bob Arum's like 90 now, isn't he? 91. Crazy. Big Rye, man. I've changed my mind multiple times in the Allen fight. It's a fight that will be decided when the first 3 rounds. It's very interesting style-wise. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Makhmudov's going to go for it in the early rounds, try to take him out as soon as possible. He's not going to wait around. And Allen, how does he react when he comes out like that? But he's had a full camp. Apparently he's in good shape. Will that help him? We'll see. Need to try utilize the range. I really think he's wide open on the inside, and Dave could rock him. He can hurt him the time. Yeah, I think that's the thing about Makhmudov, and that's why he probably starts pretty quick. He gasses out in the later rounds, as we saw against Vianello, the Italian heavyweight he faced. And yeah, it could come down to who lands that big right hand. And obviously, that's how Dave managed to hurt Johnny Fisher. He feinted to the body as if he was going to throw the body jab, and then came over the top with a huge overhand right. And that's what hurt Johnny Fisher in the end. My head said Makhmudov since it was announced. Then I changed my mind at the last minute from the Red Corner Boxing League. Don't know who they are, but yeah, like I was the same. I actually thought, oh, Dave Allen actually has a good chance, but I feel like I said, I might eat my words come Saturday night, but I'm not feeling it for Dave this weekend. Like I said this at the start of the video. Whenever Dave makes that step up against like not even like a top guy, a top contender, like, yeah, kind of like a mid-range contender. So for example, a Fraser Clark, Dillian White, Tony Yoka, David Price, he always falls short. And people are ignoring that. Even when he's come into shape in some of those fights, he falls short. Never wins the fight in the end. Or puts in a lackluster performance, always has an excuse. But like I said, I hope he does it. I really do. I hope he wins the fight, but I'm struggling to see him do it. Boxing Society, man. All right, if you guys get in your last questions, I'll stay for another kind of 5-10 minutes if we get any more, and then we'll leave it at that. And just a reminder, guys, you guys can sign up. I don't know if you guys are on the zone. If not, you can use the QR code. Don't know if you can actually properly see it. Yeah, it's on should be on your right hand side to sign up, or it's in the top of the chat or in the description. You guys can sign up using the link and help support the channel. And yeah, I think Boots will destroy Lima. Jerome has power in both hands and is a very accurate puncher. Yeah, I think like I said, I think if Boots plays the counter punching game, he should get the win. And if he doesn't, if he falls into the trap of trying to dog it out with Lima, it could be a messy fight. I hope not. I hope he gets the finish. I think he needs to make a statement. But I always feel, I don't know, like just looking at, sorry if I get up. You know, he's obviously fought Avanesian and Chukazin in the big, the basketball stadium or whatever in Philly. And he always kind of, I don't know, he always looks just a little bit nervous. And I don't know if it's because he feels like he needs to perform in front of his fans. And then Bozy Ennis as well, his dad, his trainer, is like, you need to get the knockout. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. After 9 years, wise but still fighting no names. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like I said, I think this is just a tune-up. If I'm being frank, they want to test him at 154 pounds first, and then I think from there they need to get a good name. No more waiting around. Need to go for it. But yeah, guys, I don't know if it looks like it's drying up with the questions, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. Obviously, I'm going for Makhmudov this weekend. I think he'll get the job done against Dave Allen. I hope Dave Allen gets the job done, pulls off the upset, but I think he's in for a surprise. Big Rai, sorry, I'll just answer this last one. I think many of us think Makhmudov will win, but there's just that Ricky hope that we would all like to see every so often. Yeah, Rocky moment, sorry. Was it a Ricky moment? I guess like a Ricky Hatton moment, you know? But Rocky moment, yeah. Yeah, man, I love it. Don't we all love those moments? We love those stories. And yeah, I think let's all hope he does it. I'm going to be rooting for Dave. I hope he does it, man. And it'd be amazing if he did. But yeah, guys, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining the stream. And I'm going to be doing these a lot more often anyway. So I'll probably be back doing a stream for Fabio Wardley versus Joseph Parker in a couple of weeks. I might do a follow-up maybe on Monday, just kind of reacting to this weekend's action. And yeah, looking forward to it. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you, Big Ryan. Enjoyed chatting to you as well, man. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and make sure to sign up in DAZN on the QR code or in the link in the description if you haven't done so already. All right, guys, thank you so much. And as always, see you in the next one.